He's the shove-it man, oh he's the shove-it man. He's gonna shove it, yeah, he's gonna shove it, man.
Alright, it's the leader of the Smack Pack, back with some more heart-stopping excitement from the TNA Asylum days, before the leader of the Greys. Last time out, Russo was feuding with Roddy Piper and Don Callis and Eric Watts. All the authority figures were at war for some reason. The show starts with an argument in someone's back garden between Eric Watts and the black shirt security and Don Callis and the red shirt security. It's NwA versus TNA. Callis seems to win that exchange because he has a Terminator on his side. JB is in the ring frantically screaming the Free Live crew are here to debut their new single. I've covered this before, but basically it's a big mix of all three guys just taking turns on the mic, and Conrad is terrible. Their performance is broken up by the gifted Glenn Gilberti, how is he gifted, the Diamond Man, and the master of the cab driver slam David Young. If you're confused, so am I, but the cabbie is here because Johnny Swinger has had to tend to a medical emergency. They make fun of Free Live crew calling them American Idol rejects. Raisin and his gathering crew smash them away. Raven's apparently embarrassed about his new haircut. He's fake crying, this promo is weird. He was of course the victim of a haircut from Shane Douglas. He says he's paranoid, depressed and a schizophrenic. Look Raven, I know it's a bad haircut, but that's going a bit far. He threatens the new church and Vampiro for giving him the haircut and then they leave. TNA and West start running down tonight's matches, but Kid Kash interrupts. He's going to fight the Red Rooster tonight, and he says he won't be held responsible for the damage he does to the Rooster. In the back, Jerry Lynn, who makes the girls grin, is in a better mood than usual because he's got a shot at the X Division title tonight. He's talking about how people are calling him old and broken. Some things never change. He finishes the promo by saying, "Destroy the opposition" in that fake metal voice. So stupid.
The shirt says, "Destroy the opposition."
Number one contendership 5-way match for the X Division title is NwA versus Kazarian, who chats up the cage dancer. Lollipop looks really impressed. This is Kaz's new gimmick, by the way, ladies man. Also in this match is Juventud Guerrera, Chris Sabin and Randy the Ram. NwA and Kaz to start. It's a decent start with Kaz flipping on the ropes and hitting a clothesline. NwA isn't doing well, so he kicks Kaz in the nutsack and in the head. This gets an ICP chant. The Juice joins the match. He's pretty quickly kicked down with a spinning heel kick. He fails, so he tags Sabin. Lynn tags in and joins with a dive and a head scissors. Jerry Lynn ain't finished though, and he snaps off a Hurricanrana on Sabin off the ring apron. Sabin slows him down with double knees, and both guys close each other down and tag out. The Juice and NwA fight. NwA smashes him into the corner and hits a release German. Finally, the Juice does land a move with a Fisherman's Buster, and NwA's been eliminated just like that. Everyone takes each other out. This is good action so far. The Juice dodges a basement dropkick and hits one of his own. Juve head scissors to the outside now. The Indian Leatherman thinks he's got Juice with the fade to black, but Sabin makes a blind tag and dropkicks Guerrero away. Lynn joins the match with a leg drop and a splash on Sabin. So many blind tags in this one. Juice springboard dropkicks Lynn, and Kaz also does a dropkick. Kaz follows that with something new. It's a sort of front flip axe kick, it's really cool. The crowd really only want to see the Juice though. They don't get him. Kazarian connects with the Wave of the Future on Sabin, who kicks out the pin. Sabin retaliates with the Cradle Shock, and surprisingly, the Leatherman Kaz has been eliminated. Sabin hits the Juice with an alley-oop into the corner and Lynn tags in. Lynn throws Sabin into a Juventud dropkick for a 2 count. All three guys are working well together, not sure who's winning this one. Sabin does a sunset flip powerbomb to take out the other 2 guys. He also throws a nice kick, but turns around into a Juve driver. It seems they've forgotten about the rules of tagging in and out here. Juice and Lynn do loads of pinning reversals, and Lynn eventually has enough of that and crushes Guerrero for the 3. Down to the last 2 guys. Sabin comes close, but not close enough. Lynn gets a 2 on a superplex. Shawn Michaels' cousin, the X Division champion, is shown intensely watching. It's going well, but then there's a ref bump. Lynn looks to do the TKO, but he can't because Shawn Michaels' cousin is here and he smacks Sabin with the belt. Lynn gets rid of him with a DDT and beats Chris Sabin with a cradle pile driver. The biggest push Jerry Lynn has had in a year. In the back, for some reason, Crash Holly is dressed as SpongeBob SquarePants and he isn't happy. Umaga and Sonny don't look at my Asiaki, walk up and kill them both. This is a feud the Hawk can get behind. More stuff with Roddy Piper. Mike TNA is annoying him, asking how he feels about all the TNA authority figures siding with Russo last week. Piper is desperate to be in TNA, but they aren't letting him in the arena. He talks for 5 entire minutes about this. So despite not being allowed in the arena, he's still allowed 5 minutes of TV time. In the ring, 5-skin head Don Callis talks about the exact same thing. Last week he had to choose between 2 of the biggest names in wrestling, Piper or Russo. He sided with Russo, and he banned Piper from the Asylum for life. He says he did it because deep down people do prefer Russo to Piper. He says he has another decision to make tonight because last week Jeff Jarrett attacked him. Don Callis is about to fire Slapnuts when out walks Eric Watts and the black shirt security. They run them off. This is such a weird feud. Watts calls him Don Cowass. Watts makes a match tonight with Jeff Jarrett versus Christopher Daniels. He also makes the matches of AJ Styles versus Dusty Rhodes in a Bunkhouse brawl, the New York Guys versus the Free Life Crew, and the Gathering versus the New Church in a dog collar match. And, oh no, a match between the two security teams. Weird that we're getting all these matches announced 40 minutes into the show. So into the security guard match we go. 4 guys having a match who nobody could possibly ever care about. And they never did. The black shirts are Rick Santel and Chris Vaughan versus the red shirts, the Terminator Ryan Wilson and Kevin Northcutt. The Terminator hits a spinebuster, big size mismatch here. Wilson continues smashing his opponent into the corner and makes the tag. The red shirts continue hitting attacks. Northcutt hits a big pump handle suplex but the pin is broken up. Wilson strips Chris Vaughan for some reason and then rubs his disgusting sweaty shirt on his own face. Why? The Terminator misses a big boot but he does connect with a big full Nelson slam. Once again, Rick Santel has to break up the pin. Northcutt picks the jobber up and roughly dumps him to the mat. Most one-sided match I've seen. The crowd are actually into this one though. Big side slam for Brian Wilson. Eventually, the jobber hits an enziguri, but he still can't make the tag because the red shirts take the ref. This is such a prolonged beating. Why don't these idiot red shirts just kill the other guy who's breaking all their pins up? Well, the tag is eventually made. Rick Santel takes down one red shirt guy with a flying forearm, but then he walks straight into a Terminator big boot. Wilson gorilla press slams him out of the ring. Jesus. This distracts the ref. Eric Watts sneaks in the ring and hits a choke slam on Kevin Northcutt, and Rick Santel makes the pin. Really wasn't expecting the black shirts to win this one. To be honest, this made the red idiots look extremely weak considering they lost to literally one move. In the back, Terry Taylor looks like a young Robert Roode. He says he's a 48-year-old dad who's too old to wrestle. Crazy how that's changed. 48 is pretty normal nowadays. He says he doesn't like Kid Kash because he's disrespectful. Into that match we go. Kid Kash accompanied by the big scary dude Abyss versus Terrence Taylor the Red Rooster. Surprisingly, America's Most Wanted back him up. These guys have been completely directionless on the show. Kash is very arrogant in the early going of this one. He does an arm drag and celebrates with star jumps. Alright, jumping jack, shut up or I'll smack you one. His next attempt is blocked and then he runs into a clothesline for a 2. Kash dumps his nappy of fear and bails out the ring. He slaps Abyss for completely no reason. Kash returns to the ring where they play with a test of strength. Kash tries to kick him away but he's stopped and dragon whipped. Terry Taylor puts on the ankle lock with Kid Kash quickly making the ropes. Kash says, shut up or I'll smack you one. Kash kicks him in the nuts right in front of the ref who has to pretend that he's distracted. This is like the opposite of last week. The ref was constantly distracted. This week they're not even bothering to distract the ref. Eventually Taylor does a jawbreaker for a hope spot. Don't get too hopeful though, he's quickly shut down for net breaker. Kash goes high flying for the first time. The crossbody only gets him a 2 count. Abyss takes out America's Most Wanted on the outside as Taylor hits a couple of atomic drops. The ref somehow doesn't notice that the massive Abyss is in the ring due to AMW. He hits the black hole slam but it isn't over. Harris hits an incredible spear on Kid Kash and that gets Terrence Taylor a win over Kid Kash. In the back, Russo is screaming at Eric Watts and swinging a baseball bat. Watts must have been watching the Warriors before coming to the show because he says he's going to take the bat, shove it up his ass and turn him into a popsicle. On to the next match as the fallen angel Christopher Daniels, who now has crackhead followers, versus a wild slapnuts of this.
Jeff Jarrett.
I have to admit that Slapnuts feels like he's massively pushed himself around this time. He doesn't feel like the main character at the moment. Jarrett bat body drops Daniels, who immediately turns it around and sends Jarrett out the ring. Daniels misses his dive on him and he's smashed on the crowd barrier. An old lady aggressively pushes the barrier back on him. Slapnuts is distracted by Gacy and Daniels is able to hit a choke slam. Daniels does a leg scissors across the ropes. He tries to do the sign of the cross, but it doesn't look great. The vertical suplex gets Chris Daniels a 2 count. Jarrett gets a quick hope spot before he's kicked back down. Another uranagi from Daniels and he flawlessly connects with the BME. Wow, wasn't expecting Slappy to kick out of that one. Actually, what the hawk am I saying is Slapnuts. He always kicks out. Slapnuts connects with an enziguri kick for a double down. Back on their feet, Jarrett drops Daniels on his nutsack and hits a drop kick. Jarrett takes a rare trip to the top rope and gets a top rope crossbody. He tries a running crossbody now, which Daniels almost reverses into the 3 count. Big spinning setup powerbomb for Daniels now. The crackheads take the referee and try to help Daniels, but instead it costs Daniels and he's rolled up for the 3. That's the problem with this new gimmick for Daniels. You bring him back just to lose matches. It's not going to help him, is it? Even with a 4-on-1 advantage, he still lost. He's a bad loser too, and he beats up one of the minions using a leather strap. Daniels is the Howa Power. In the back, one of the many TNA authority figures, Dusty Rhodes, has talked about AJ Styles' lack of respect. Give me a break, we already did this with Terry Taylor and Kid Kash. Why would they do this storyline twice on the same show? Next match is the Free Live Crew versus the Diamond Man, the Cab Driver Man, and the How Is He Gifted Man. The crew clear them from the ring and Konad starts cutting a promo. He says he's going to bust some ass, and not the way they're used to having their asses bust. Konad and the Diamond Man start us out. Konad does a forward roll into an eye poke and tells him to suck it in the corner. I think Konad is sexually frustrated in this episode. Mold Dog with a kung fu stance now to David Young, but regrets it when he's smacked down. The Free Live Crew turn it around through cheating, and Truth does a top rope leg drop to the cabbie's coin purse. Gifted Glenn Gilberti joins the match. Truth humps the air at him, which causes Glenn to reconsider his actions. Gilberti clotheslines him down to a round of applause. Truth retaliates with the splits into the kicks for a 2 count. He gets another 2 off a thrusting power slam. Diamond cheats, which allows Gilberti to gain the advantage of a kick. He's joined the match now and he gets a 2 count from the Simon series. The cabbie gets the tag and he hits a clothesline with authority. Eventually Truth connects with an axe kick which lets him tag out. That causes the match to break down and everyone hits their big moves. Unfortunately the Diamond Man super kicks his own man. Truth missile drop kicks the Diamond Man and dives on him to kill him. Unfortunately for Mold Dog, Glenn Gilberti hits him with a steel chair. And there it is, the Cab Driver Slam, the Cab Driver Slam. It's over. For real for once. David Young has pinned Mold Dog. But no time for celebrations because Dusty Rhodes and AJ Styles are fighting in a field. So this is actually a match. It'll be a bunkhouse brawl. It's more like a handicap match because Russo keeps helping Styles. AJ is thrown into a fence and he has a trash can bounced off his head. We're back in the arena now, which is a shame because I was enjoying the variation. This is one of the most boring matches I've ever seen. AJ Styles pulls down his jeans and moons Dusty. That fires the Dream up, who pulls down AJ's nappy and spanks him. Russo's here crawling around the ring, and Slapnuts is here for some reason too. And then Trinity arrives. It's probably the hottest thing I've seen in pro wrestling. I can't really show it because the video will be taken down. But Trinity is a very attractive lady, and basically they spank her. The cameraman understood the mission here. The ref throws the match out because there's nothing topping that. It's a shame they've got nothing else for this girl to do because she should obviously be on TV. Dusty was definitely just here to have a good time, but I can't help but feel it's a little bit creepy. The wacky AJ Styles storms back out of a microphone and says he's angry. This is dangerous. AJ Styles says that Dusty is into spanking young men's butts, but AJ isn't cool with that. AJ is the world champion if you needed reminding. It's a terrible promo where AJ just rambles on about respect. And then, wow, AJ Styles gives Dusty a shot at his title next week. There's definitely something in the air this week. Russo walks up looking like an old hippie and tries to talk AJ out of it. AJ Styles says zip it, Russo. Russo suggests instead he and AJ Styles face Slapnuts and Dusty in a tag match. Wow, this promo's terrible. AJ Styles seems so childish, pathetic and wacky.
There won't be no NWA title shot with Dusty Rhodes next week.
Zip it, Vince. I know what I'm doing. Yeah! Next week, Dusty! You want some of me and Vince?
And I know I could take him.
Vince is gonna kill you!
Why would they think putting themselves at a disadvantage is a good idea? Near the end of the show now, James Mitchell brags about giving Raven a haircut. Apparently Raven was the first man to get a haircut in front of a live audience on telly and wrestling. Surely that can't be true. And we just go from that straight into a 6-man dog collar match, the New Church versus Raven and the Gathering. I've seen this match before on this channel, it's not my sort of thing. Basically it's a slow botchy match. Raven and Douglas were fighting outside the ring, and you hear the 3 count, but we learn that Julio De Niro has won, but we don't see it. Not sure how he won, or what he won, maybe it's a punch to the gut. This match was terrible, it was slow, botchy, and I didn't even get to see the finish after sitting through it. The Church hang Raven and CM Punk across the ropes, but nobody saves them and the show ends, so Raven and Pepsi Punk are dead. I've said it before and I'll say it again, Eric Watts sucks as an authority figure. I also said this before, but someone needs to update their Wikipedia pages because Raven and Pepsi Punk are dead. A very strange show with questionable matches and booking decisions, but it is worth it to see Trinity and all the homoerotic fun on this show. The second show starts with father and son walking together. Russo says he thinks they can get out of the match tonight because him and Slappy go way back. Completely dumb and stupid considering the feud him and Slapnuts have been doing in TNA since the start. The opening contest is America's Most Wanted versus Kid Kash and Abyss. The comedy team are more interested in talking about Randy Savage's rap CD and apparently the Harris twins have left TNA to manage him, or something. How bizarre. Abyss seems to be doing okay before his own partner slaps him. Poor Abyss. Storm and Kash have a fiery trade-off. Storm does a Japanese arm drag and a top rope crossbody for a 2. AMW start double teaming Kid Kash. The notorious KD won't die. Kash randomly slaps Storm and tags Abyss. Poor tag team work from AMW letting him just get away like that. It'll be Chris Paris and Abyss now. The camera cuts away to Kid Kash flipping out at a fan, not sure what happened. Harris looks terrified of the monster. Chris Harris gets fired up though and it works. Harris is in the middle of tugging on Abyss's arm when Kash gets in the ring and slaps his own guy, causing Harris to release the hold. This fires up Abyss, who press slams Harris. Abyss throws Kash on top of Harris and follows it for leg drop for a 2. Kid Kash tries to do a double spring at Harris which doesn't work, and then they botch a catapult into the corner and it looked rough. Storm and Abyss get the tags. Abyss is battered in the corner and then he randomly decides to climb to the top rope. Of course, he falls on his nutsack. But Kash turns it around on Harris and he climbs on top of Abyss and damn, he hits a moonsault from Abyss's shoulders. That was cool. Straight after, Storm hits Abyss with a Frankensteiner. Everyone's down. Eventually back to their feet, we get another beautiful spear from Harris. Storm hits the super kick on Abyss which doesn't knock him down. They double spear Abyss instead which does knock him down, but they can't pin him because the ref's distracted. Kash throws a chair into Storm's face. There's the black hole slam from Abyss and it's over. Really enjoyable match, but America's Most Wanted feel ruined now. Terry Taylor is here. Is this feud still happening? The crowd chant Terry Taylor sucks. Taylor fights Kid Kash and Abyss. Man, what are his clothes made out of to tear apart like that? AMW make the save for him with chairs. In the back, Shawn Michaels' cousin is talking about Shawn Michaels. He says Shawn Michaels never won the first Ultimate X match or the X Division title. He says, from now on, Shawn Michaels will be known as the cousin of Michael Shane. So far, 10 out of 10 entertainment on this show. X Division title match now. It's Jerry Lynn taking on Michael Shane, who I believe has a nobody cousin called Shawn Michaels. They keep talking about the first ever Ultimate X match, which was absolutely horrible. I can't believe how much they talk about that thing. Before this match starts, JB introduces Antonio Pena, who is the AAA owner. I guess some talent is about to be exchanged. It's all pretty slow and lacking energy until Lynn tries to skin the cat but instead gets drop kicked and sent to the floor. Chris Sabin's on commentary reminding us that he won the Super X Cup and he's complaining he hasn't had a title shot. Sabin says next week he's putting his cup on the line in an open challenge. This match is boring, I'm sorry. It's full of very slow reversals and the crowd sound restless. Lynn just says f it and hits a big spear. He carries on not giving a turd and boots Shane in the face. Lynn nails the TKO, which is just a 2. Lynn's dominating, he drop kicks Shane out the ring and dives off the ropes for Hurricanrana. Ultimately it all comes down to Chris Sabin interfering. Lynn's in full control and Sabin makes him fall in his nutsack, and then Michael Shane wins with one super kick. Really did not enjoy that match. In the back, Crash Holly is crying. He keeps calling Shark Boy Jaws. Before he can talk, D'Lo Brown interrupts. He says that he's also looking for revenge against Siaki and will be on their side tonight. The Human 5-Skin marches up and tells D'Lo he's gonna see red tonight if he causes any trouble. D'Lo looks like a balloon that's slowly inflating. Callis gives him a match, which will be next. Christopher Daniels and his little crackhead crew arrive to face downtown D'Lo Brown. Daniels is being cheered over D'Lo. Brown keeps smacking Daniels down and screams, "You suck." Daniels just can't knock him down, and D'Lo's hilarious in this match. He keeps yelling things. Daniels runs into a spinning heel kick for a 2 count. D'Lo's having an easy time and he throws Daniels out the ring. D'Lo slams him, but then he gets surrounded by crackheads. D'Lo smacks one, but he pays for it as Daniels dives on top of him. D'Lo Brown isn't hurt though, and he flings Daniels on top of the crowd barrier. D'Lo starts puffing out his cheeks, and the look on his face is the most f***it face I've ever seen. So he dives, but he misses. In the ring, Daniels hits a spear. What is it with everyone suddenly using the spear in this company? D'Lo blocks his next move and quickly snaps off a middle rope moonsault, which catches nothing but knees. Daniels shows him how it's done. Soon after, we get the 3/4 net breaker for D'Lo Brown for a double down. There's a herd of people at ringside now. D'Lo almost wins with a spinebuster. One of the crackheads grabs his leg, so D'Lo dives on them all. He'll need a bath after that one. D'Lo returns to the ring and climbs to the top. The red shirt security distract D'Lo, and Daniels arm drags him from the top. Daniels does the last rites, and there we go, Daniels wins. The same finish 2 matches in a row. Who booked this crap? And it's not as if either guy could afford to lose this one. In the back, Eric Watts is with Rick Santel, who has a separated shoulder from the match with the red shirt security, which is surprising because the other guy took all the offense. Eric Watts says TNA should pay the man's medical bills, but they're refusing. Don Callis laughs at the thought of looking after wrestlers. He says the company have no responsibility. He says Eric Watts was the one who booked the match last week, so he should pay the medical bill. He sort of has a point, but this hasn't aged well, and it's making TNA look stupid. Another pointless interview of Roddy Piper. The show is already 10 minutes shorter than usual, so I'm not sure why we're taking up more time with the show. Piper's basically said that the wrestlers should have health protection. You know, TNA could have done something really good here with all this talk. They could have really stuck it to the WWE at this time, but instead, I don't know, why do they keep bringing all this stuff up if they're not going to do anything about it? Tag team action now. Umaga and Sonny Don't Look at My Ass Siaki with Trinity, who sadly isn't wearing that dress this week, and they take on Crash Holly and the Shark Boy. This one's all fun and games. They suplex Siaki into the ring and 619 Umaga out of it. Double team dropkick and spinebuster now. Unfortunately they dance too much and they pay for that. Umaga kicks Crash and does a full Nelson to Shark Boy. Shark Boy isn't done and he jawbreakers Siaki. He can't hit a head scissors though and he's slammed. Siaki and Umaga double team the Shark. Umaga lets him up from that pin. TNA talks about bloodlines in 2003. The Shark bites Umaga in the ass. He pays for it when he's squashed in the corner. Cool double team now with Siaki doing a springboard splash on the Shark. Siaki can't connect with the Siakalypse and Shark does a net breaker. Tags are made. Crash dodges a splash in the corner and bulldogs Siaki. He also dodges the Umaga elbow. The odd couple do 10 punches in the corner into a bite and the crowd love that one. The Samoans get bored of playing and they do a gorilla press slam into a net breaker. Umaga punctuates it with a splash and that's the 3. I don't know if it's the fact that I love all 4 of these characters, but this was an excellent short tag match, non-stop entertainment. The Samoans are bad losers though, and Siaki powerbombs Crash and puts him on top of the Shark. Umaga looks to splash them both when D'Lo Brown makes the save. D'Lo clotheslines Umaga and he sells it like Rikishi did. Trinity's attempt at a low blow is another highlight of this show, but D'Lo blocks it and does the lowdown. Getting low with Trinity, a lucky man. The red shirt boys handcuff D'Lo and drag him away. Why doesn't Watts do something? What a horrible authority figure for letting these things happen. And that, my little friends, was the final TNA match for Crash Holly. Very sad, I loved this time there. An interview with the New York Nerds now allows me to fast forward. When David Young is the most likeable person on the screen, you know there's a problem. Actually, there is some character development here. Gilberti tells him that he's not part of their team. The cabbie's very upset. He tells David Young to take his place in the match tonight and he'll reconsider. Slapnuts and Dusty Rhodes get interviewed. Jarrett says he won't forgive Russo and the tag match is happening tonight. David Young, the master of the cab driver slam, is here and he's all fired up. He randomly takes on the Sandman, who I feel like we haven't seen for a while on this show. His top says, I smack Raw and I want more. Young eventually gets tired of his long ass entrance. David Young springs into the ring with a diving clothesline. He looks really short in this match for some reason. His short moonsault doesn't work because the Sandman gets his knees up. Sandman retaliates for cannonball in the corner. He drops the cabbie on his gut across the ropes and hits the leg drop. No pin is made because Hack is in a K-hole or something. He looks so happy in this match. On the outside, Hack takes a long run up and jumps off a chair into David Young. Having a lot of fun with this match too. Oh wow, it's the most famous TNA fan of all time, the Chair Boy. It's been a while. In the ring, Young regains the advantage and he overhead suplexes the Sandman into the corner. The Sandman isn't finished, he hits a Frankensteiner, quickly followed by a Swanton Bomb. That's the 3. Dude, I was watching the NwA TNA show the other day, dude. And this man, the Sand Dude, he stole Jeff Swanton Bomb finishing maneuver, man. Dude, I'm going back to Carolina. And I'm going to tell my stoner friend Jeff that you stole his finisher, man. The New York Turd Trappers beat up the Sandman. They celebrate and thank the cabbie in the ring before turning on him. Good, he was far too likeable to be hanging around with those guys. He's randomly saved by the Free Live crew. Maybe they needed a cab home. In the back, Vince Russo is dressed in riot gear. Slapnuts emerges from a door looking in complete shock to see him. Russo keeps screaming, I'm your friend. Jarrett ain't buying it. The disciples of the new church are here with Vampiro. Mitchell gives the credit to Shane Douglas for getting rid of Raisin from wrestling, but it sounds like their business is over now. Mitchell reveals that their next plan is coming up now that Raven's dealt with. This leads to a match against the Free Live crew. Vampiro looks extra skinny here. He kicks the Mold Dog down and Sin and Slash also double team the dog. They do a drop kick into a Russian leg sweep for a 2 count. Moldy does turn it around against the Slash Man with a pump handle slam. Truth does a pretty cool double takedown in this one, followed by a splits into the kicks. Honestly feel like these Free Live crew matches suck until the Truth gets going. Truth hits Vampiro with the back, sack and crack, but Mitchell takes the referee. Vampiro hits Truth with a diving weapon shot. The ref must have seen it because the match is thrown out. Then Raven returns and he takes out Vamp. Douglas dumps in his nappy of anger on commentary. Raven hits James Mitchell with a funny kick. Douglas saves James Mitchell from a hanging. Raven vows to eliminate a new church one by one until he's left alone with Mitchell. It's a very good promo from Raven. It's got to the point quickly and I could understand what he was talking about. Not enough of that from Raven in TNA. Here comes the main event match. AJ Styles and Russo with Trinity versus Dusty Rhodes and a wild slapnut. Rhodes and AJ will start. Don West keeps accidentally calling him Rusty. Styles is scared of Rusty and he has to bail for a bit. It's not really going well for Styles. This is essentially a handicap match. AJ can't connect with his dropkick and Jarrett does the strut. Russo pulls a distraction and AJ gets the advantage from a kick, and that's pretty much how this match trundles along. Check out this released German suplex from Slapnuts though, can't recall seeing him do that very often. We also get a rare wrestling move from Dusty with a delayed vertical suplex. He turns back to his elbow game. A bunch of distractions get AJ the advantage again. More distractions allow AJ to hit Dusty with the baseball bat. Everyone just starts doing whatever they want. Trinity tries to interfere with a dive, but she's caught and powerbombed by Slappy. Jarrett puts the figure 4 on Russo. The hold is on for 10 seconds and Russo doesn't tap out. AJ hits Jarrett in the head in front of the referee with the bat, but he no-sells it. Slappy hits the top rope stroke on Styles, Dusty drops the elbow, and he sits on Styles' face and spanks him as the ref counts to 3. Dusty's weird in TNA. I'm sorry, there's just something uncomfortable about him. I don't care if he's a legend. And that's 2 weeks in a row AJ Styles has looked like a complete idiot. AJ throws a tantrum and he challenges Dusty Rhodes to a one-on-one match of his choosing. Probably a spanking match. I thought they already did that anyway. Please get AJ away from Dusty. Styles smacks Russo down, which surprised me. Dusty says that the only stipulation for the match is that it's for the world title. Slapnuts gets upset about that because he's supposed to be the number 1 contender. That's that. Show 2 is pretty much average. This Dusty stuff just isn't sitting comfortably with me. It's making AJ look ridiculous. And what's with all this ass slapping on this show? And if you don't agree with that, come on, let's go.